Hey guys, what's going on? It's your girl, IFBB Pro Roxy Beckles here, and I'm so excited to have you on today's video. Today I have an extra special treat for you. I have an interview with one of my rock stars whom you have met before, and that is Ghabi Hernandez. She's back to fill us in with how things have been going with her and her season and her life and just everything. Now, Ghabi is a long-time rock star. She's been working with me for 2 years now, 2 full years, and the transformation that she has made has been so inspirational, just so incredible, not only just in her body, but just in the way that she projects herself, her energy, her confidence in everything. And so I'm really excited to jump into today's video to just let her give you some of her story. Now, for those of you that are seeing me for the very first time, my name is Roxy Beckles, and I am an IFBB Pro, former competitor, and I've been in the fitness industry for over 21 years. And it is my passion to share my knowledge and everything that I've come to know over the last couple of years with women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, and to help them to rewrite their stories, to reshape their bodies, to take on new heights and new levels, and to do it all through fitness. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into today's interview with Ghabi. First of all, thank you so much for joining today, Ghabi.
Yeah, we've been trying to do this for like the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, you know, time is of the essence, but we've got it all together, which is good. So let's go ahead and actually reintroduce you to the audience, okay? Because there may be some people who've never seen you before. And for those who've never seen Ghabi's amazingness before, I'll put up several links in the video so you can check back and look at her stuff. So Ghabi, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your history as a rock star and where we are right now.
So I am officially 2 years in. We just had our 2-year anniversary in June. I started June 2016 as a rock star. I'm 2 years in as a rock star. I came to you as somebody who had previously been working and training with other clients, and I was really looking for a different approach to my training, to my fitness, and to be able to kind of live a normal life, but to still be a competitor. So I ended up following you because someone said that we were twins, and here I am 2 years later.
Which cracks me up every time I hear that. Like, it's like we couldn't look so completely different anymore, you know. So you're like caramel, I'm like dark chocolate, you know what I mean? Like, you've got green eyes, I've got brown eyes. It's just...
We're twins.
Right.
So, definitely. Yeah, so I had to seek out my twin, and actually I started following you through social media. I downloaded a couple of your free ebook courses, and I just really loved your approach to nutrition, and I mean, your physique was like killer. It's funny, even before I joined you, I went back and I looked at some of your old videos, your competition videos, and it was so interesting watching a dancer pose. You were very rhythmic. Like,
thank you.
That lady needs to be my coach.
And here we are, 2 years later, we're still together.
Two years later.
So what has the journey been like for you? Like, being that, you know, you're a woman who came from a story of losing a lot of weight, you know, those that haven't seen Ghabi's old interviews, she's lost over 100 pounds. That was before you came to me, though. And now being where you are as a seasoned competitor who's going into an off season, who's going into hopefully able to turn pro at something or at some point. So what has that transformation been like for you, and how has that like just changed your perspective on life, body, the way that your femininity, like all that stuff, you know, go into that.
Well, I think that, so the hardest part, especially when you're someone who is overweight and you've been overweight for so long, you are so hyper-focused on weight for a long time. It's like, let me finally get to this perfect number, and I'll have this perfect-looking body, and I have this certain sort of physique. So it was interesting transitioning from being focused on weight loss and really being focused on, you know, being strong, being fit, being functional. And what's really been amazing that I've learned from you and and just through this whole process of transitioning from being an overweight person who was super focused on trying to lose weight is that I mean, it's become just more manageable. You know, focusing on being fit, focusing on getting like my workouts in, you know, understanding you're really the person who taught me that you can have balance. Like you can still go out and have like 1 or 2 meals and indulge, and it's not going to make you're not going to suddenly wake up and be obese. And then it's also just a transition into what it really means to be an athlete, and you're just focused on other markers other than just, you know, the number on the scale. It's like whole physique and mentality is very different than even when I came to you. So I came to you from this place of like, I had people who were like starving me to be at a certain weight, to learning that I can still have some flexibility in my life and have a figure that I love and be really strong. Like the things that I'm able to do with my body, I think are probably one of the things that I've come to love the most.
That's fantastic. That's really fantastic. So like what are your goals right now, and like, you know, and how have they shifted and changed since like you being like a newer, greener competitor, not kind of knowing what really to expect, to where you are now with what you're working on and what you wish to achieve?
Well, so first of all, you know, when I first started, I was working with people and they're like, oh, you just need to be as shredded and as lean as possible on stage. Okay. Yeah, being shredded is a part of it, but who cares if you're shredded if you don't have the right shape? And so it was even learning how important that was, because I had these people prepping me for a national show, and now that I went to one, I know that 2.5 years ago when I started with you, I was not even close to being ready for that. Like mentally, I wasn't ready for it, because it's just a completely different sort of ball game. Secondly, the other thing that I've come to learn is like that this process, it's not a sprint. Like I'm not going to have that physique overnight. Like it is truly an exercise in patience, and learning what it takes to you know, to get more muscular and to put on size, and really being flexible with how your body changes and when you're in season and prepping versus off season, and how you can appreciate all of those different body types. But I would have to say, you know, learning, first of all, like, what are these people even looking for? So I had people prepping me who have no idea what the judges are looking for. And so it was awesome to work with someone who, and I was like, oh, I'm 6 weeks out from masters. Like, no, actually, funny thing, no, you're not.
Right.
So it was, and to see that progression, and it's like, what I love is seeing like where we started in June to now, and like it has just been such a steady like growth, and to really appreciate how my body has changed. My shape has changed, the amount of muscle I have has changed. Like it's been amazing to watch, and to really have someone who is kind of advising me in a way that makes sense.
Right. Like when it comes to like people reaching out for coaches and stuff like that, sometimes I feel like, you know, they don't know if it's something that they should do, if they should invest in it, if it's something that like is worth it at all. Like, what would you say to people who are like on the fence and like, you know, struggling out there, maybe even working with people that they don't trust, like how the situation that you were in, like what would be your advice to folks in that kind of boat?
So I will tell you something interesting. Before I chose you as a coach, I actually went and I visited with 3 people. One of the first things that I noticed is that every single person said to me I was not eating enough food when they looked at my meal plan. Secondly, I really needed someone who could be flexible with me and my schedule. I travel all the time. Me having to meet with a trainer is not realistic, because I feel like I would be wasting their time. And then the other thing is, it really comes down to, I think also like the personality, to make sure that it's a good fit as far as the personality. But the truth is, in every aspect of our life, we have a coach. At work, you have a manager, and that's a coach. In your personal life, you may have like a brother, or sister, or parent who's a coach. So it's unrealistic to think that you can do all of that for yourself and not have someone as a third party to say, okay, you know what, these are some things that you need to work on, and it's completely worth the investment. And the truth is, having someone to coach you on your fitness, whether you want to be a competitor, whether you want to just be more fit, or whether you just want to be stronger, there are so many benefits. There's the accountability. And it's also like, we all think we can do everything ourselves, but having someone where that is their specialty, it can help you reach different levels of fitness that you never had before.
Right.
So I think that we have coaches in every aspect. I think that you can self-manage your fitness without a little help, especially when you're like a novice, or even if you've been doing this for a long time. There are a lot of benefits in having other people coach you, you know, and to see you objectively and to offer you critical feedback. So that, I mean, it's for you to reach your goal. And if you've been doing that by yourself, obviously that's not working.
Right. Exactly. So what do you feel like when we've been working together now? It's been like 2 years, and like we're not even done yet, because we're going to go into what's next year? 2019. I was to say 2020. I was like, where am I? Wait, no. Okay. 2019. And, you know, we have bigger goals and stuff like that. And that's a long time to be working with someone like nonstop, like literally nonstop. So what was it about like what we do that you feel like has just been that thing that's like, you know what? I'm going to keep going. It's worth it for me. Like in respect to Rockstar Fitness specifically.
So there are a couple things. Like, first of all, I have really come to love the structure that you have. I think that you've built a structure where you're not the only person who's our inspiration. So there are all these other women that I've had an opportunity to meet, whether we competed together, we talk on group calls together, or, you know, we follow each other on social media or through your Rockstar Online, your Facebook profile. So sometimes, no matter how awesome you are, you need like a little bit of motivation. So it's so cool and inspiring, just kind of like what your setup is, that you've created this community. I can go and look at these other people who are working with you and just feel inspired, like, okay, that's what I needed to make it through my day. So now I'm gonna go kill my workout. So that's one of the things that I've come to love about your approach. The other thing is, I, you know, still need a little bit of accountability, and I need someone to still show me the way. I love how dynamic your workouts are. I like the layout. I like how challenging they are, and I think that they really appeal to different aspects of me. I like that it, you know, yes, some of them are just traditional bodybuilding workouts, but I love like this incorporation of plyometrics. What I can tell from your, like the way you put workouts together, is that you just come from a really diverse training background, and that is something else that I appreciate, because I love the combinations and the dynamics of my workouts. And you know, and personally, I find you inspiring, and those are all the things that I need in order to work with someone.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So let's get back to like your lifestyle right now. So I think a lot of people
lifestyle.
We went through a really crazy period this last couple of weeks where it's just like you were like on the road. Well, yeah. I think a lot of people think like, oh, it's not like I don't have time to do this. I travel, I work a lot, I do this. But I think that you've taken the cake when it comes to like juggling life and travel. So can you like go ahead and you're bursting at the seams. So go ahead and tell us more about that.
So I travel all the time, and the worst part is, most people who travel, it's anticipated travel. Like, you know, okay, I'm going to be gone for 4 or 5 days. For me, most of my travel is not anticipated. Like, I'm going somewhere usually to stay overnight and end up there 4 and 5 days. So that completely changes like your perspective. So for me, when I travel, you know, no matter how long the trip is supposed to be, usually up front, like I'll usually contact my hotel and say, hey, are there any full service gyms that are associated with your hotel? So I oftentimes, I'm able to get a free gym.
That's cool.
And I can go work out there, or I find one that's in close proximity. And a lot of gyms will give you like a really inexpensive week pass for like $20. And to me, $20 to be able to have access to a gym is completely worth it to stay on track.
Yeah.
The next part, the food. So I try to travel with my food. So what I'll do is usually I grocery shop on Saturdays, I prep on Sundays, and I just put everything in big containers. And I've learned to find foods that are easy to fix, Costco is my best friend. So Costco's got a couple of great options. First of all, they've got hard-boiled eggs that are already made that come in a 2-pack, so they travel well. I don't have to spend extra time cooking it. They have chicken breasts. Like, you can buy a pack. It's like 5 pounds of chicken breast that's already cooked. So I already have that. So what I'll do is I'll buy some and just put them in the freezer so that it'll travel well. And then there becomes the issue with tilapia. So tilapia does not travel very well. So, but what I've come to find is there are a lot of grocery stores that will, like, they'll steam it for you on site. So I'll
like Whole Foods and stuff.
Yep. And so you can find it there. And then I try to choose vegetables usually that travel well. Broccoli travels well. My favorite salad in the world is this kale. It's like a shredded kale and like broccoli and a bunch of other vegetables, and it travels really, really well. Like, it's hearty enough that it'll stay. You can keep it for an entire week. So I mean, and then I always have a food scale. I have a collapsible food scale that I take with me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I can't tell you how many times, like, my favorite Starbucks meal is roasted red bell pepper egg bites, 2 of them, 170 calories, with a traditional oatmeal, which comes with dried fruit, nuts, and I put my own and I pour coffee in it.
Okay.
And so sometimes when I'm on the road, so there is a way for you to stay fit on the road if that's what you want. Like, you don't have to choose the worst things. I mean, and the nice part is, we can bring it over here. I'm going to show you my favorite salad. This right here. It travels so well.
Okay.
And
wait, hold it still for a second. Yeah, there.
Okay.
So we can get the details. The sweet kale. What is that? Chou frisé du? It's in French.
So,
Chou frisé du.
Broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, kale, chicory, and then it's got a little pack if you want to use it that has dried cranberries and roasted pumpkin seeds.
And this is from Costco's?
It's from Costco, but this is basically the amount of vegetables I eat in a whole week.
Okay.
So it's like, it travels really, 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 really well.
Fantastic. All right.
Yeah, so there is a way to do it. And the truth is, what most people don't account for is, if you take your own food and you only eat out a couple times, your vacation or your trip is far less expensive.
Right.
Like, I mean, the amount of money you end up spending on food versus, even if you go there, you go to the grocery store and you pick up those things, you might spend $100 and it covers your food for the entire week. So it's money you get to spend on other activities instead of constantly eating out. I always travel. I have a special little container that I use to travel with all of my protein powder. So I always have protein powder with me. So there is a way to do it. And the truth is, I would rather not be hungry. I'm not good hangry, and it keeps me from being hungry.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's a practice, and when you first do it, it does feel cumbersome, right?
Right.
But over time, it gets easier. Even with the chicken breast, you know, like Whole Foods, we have a Sprouts here. They sell whole grilled chicken breast. So you just go pick up a couple of those, and you're set.
Right.
So
I always say, like, you can go to, like, any grocery store that has, like, a hot section, like, behind, like, near the deli and stuff like that. They usually will have chicken breasts. I know out here we have Ralph's, which is, I think, Kroger's in some other markets and whatever. Yep. I don't know. But anyway, they have, like, really great roasted chicken breasts. And then they'll have different flavors like teriyaki and this and that and, you know, barbecue. So you can mix up the flavors. And what I love about what you said is, like, you know, we're really big on practicing a whole flexible dieting approach to everything and not being, like, completely rigid to the point where, you know, you get this mentality that falling off the wagon is the end of the story. So it's really great that you demonstrate that, you know, we don't do that. You know, you've evolved in your thinking when it comes to food, you know, and that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
Yeah, it's great. And then I have my travel size water bottle, 40 ounces. So it's
big water
3.5 of these a day.
Okay.
And the great part is, no matter where you travel now, the airport, they have refillable fountains.
Oh,
so
cool.
I just drink this and I refill it right in the airport. So
nice.
I have definitely learned how I can travel and eat well.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at meeting this week, and I had people ask me, they're like, how do you do this? How do you travel with your food? I said, well, I got this little cooler. It's got my stuff in it. I make sure I called ahead of time, make sure I had a refrigerator and a microwave in my hotel, and that's it.
All right. Well, one thing I want to touch on, I know people are going to be watching this and you're like, oh gosh, her hair is so great and I love her lip color and this, that, and the other. And I think you've had an evolution of your look since the time that we've worked together, which, not that I should talk, but I have too. I think it's like this rock star fitness thing, like we're spreading around. It's like everybody's like, oh, I got to put my lipstick on and but I think it's because it's like we're so much involved we're so much more than just like, okay, here's your diet and here's your training. Like all of our stuff is about like how we're improving as women from the inside out, I feel. So how do you feel like this evolution for you, like outwardly, has come about in the time that we've worked together? Do you feel like anything that we've done has influenced that for you as well?
I do believe that there is a lot of power in being feminine and being strong. And I would say that, after all this exposure, I've come to love being, like, I've always been pretty girly, but even more so, and just really embracing that. Because, the other thing that's happened is all these other women and people that I meet, they've become inspired that, like, wait a second, you mean I can go and I can lift and I can work out and I can still be a woman and be feminine? And so I think the other thing that's happened is, like, it's been so positive, even in how I influence other women and how feminine it can be to lift weights and to wear muscle in a way that is sexy and it is feminine and your clothes fit amazing, that it's not, I think most people, when I say bodybuilding, they think of really manly women. In fact, people frequently say to me, like, you're really pretty and girly to be a bodybuilder. And it's helping them to understand that, their stereotypes aren't correct.
Right.
That you can lift heavy, you can put on muscle, and you can still be beautiful.
Right.
So, and I think that, that too has like come full circle, just really embracing that other side of me. Like, yes, I love to go to the gym, but I want to project that I'm a girl,
right,
and I should be treated as a girl, and I'm a woman as well.
Do you feel like that's something that you've embraced in that mindset? Like, the more you got into bodybuilding, do you understand what I mean? Like, it like, has it become even more important for you? Whereas maybe in the past it wasn't something that you thought about. It was kind of like, I guess it's like, okay, let's think about like society outside of bodybuilding, the bodybuilding world. Like, people aren't used to women with a lot of muscle, right? So like, but when you're a regular woman doing the regular woman thing, like, people just outwardly think female or female energy, it's just like the way that people perceive things. And then when you start lifting weights and you're doing this active stuff and you start putting on muscle, it's kind of like there's a skew in the way that society sees you. So I feel like, sometimes it like makes you want to more actively put that out there. Do you feel like that's what happens with you? Like, do you understand what I'm asking or whatever? I don't.
Yeah, because I definitely, now it's like full, I feel like I've become more high maintenance effort. Like, I get my nails done,
Look, more high maintenance. Oh my God. I'm on eyelashes, right? Like, what's good, right?
I got these eyelash extensions, hair. Oh, absolutely. Well, I think a part of
we're not superficial. we just love ourselves, okay?
So, I would say, because I would say, I wasn't even I wasn't really wearing lipstick when we first started. And there's definitely been this sort of transition of me being way more feminine and over the top a little bit.
I don't know if it's over the top though, because here's the thing, it's like everybody, and I'm going to talk about this on our channel pretty soon and on the blog, because it's something that I'm really like passionate about now, in ways that I can help women to like just embrace working out, being strong, putting on muscle, but just still being feminine and changing that narrative that like women are not just because we do all these things. But I don't think it's over the top, because I think what happens is at some point you define what your femininity is. You know what I mean? And each of us does. So for you, if it's wearing lashes and getting your nails done, having your hair done, putting on a little lipstick and just, heightening up what makes you feel feminine and beautiful, then that's good. Other women might define it as something else. But I always find it interesting. It's like, how it's like when you really start getting into this fitness stuff and wanting to play up that femininity, to make sure that you maintain it in the way that's important to you and how you, you know, present to society or outside, you know what I mean? Outside the fitness industry, at least, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that I definitely probably put in a lot more effort than I did before. But I also think that part of that is that I have come to love myself even more, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, I feel more comfortable in my own skin, and I feel so much more confident and comfortable in who I am.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I think that that's the other thing that bodybuilding has done is it's helped me to understand strength in different ways. You know, there's something amazing about really pushing yourself like that at the end of the day, like getting in this gym, like especially doing something where it's just like a bunch of dudes. Like most of the places where I live, it's just a bunch of guys standing around looking at me like, what are you doing over there? In fact, I had, there's a woman who's a friend of mine, went to a party with her, and she said, oh, I have to tell you something. My husband won't lift near you. It's like, what are you talking about? She's like, my husband is 6'3", and he's intimidated that you lift heavier than him. I said, oh, I'll spot him.
It's so funny. Wow, that's hilarious. But I understand that. I know where that comes from. I mean, I used to play games like that in my gym. I don't do that so much anymore. But like, you know, like dudes, you know, they just act like they're so like big and mad. So I just like go next to them, just pick up the 70-pound weights and start banging away. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't emasculate men like that anymore, though. So,
but the truth is, like, I don't even notice them.
Right, exactly.
I'm not necessarily trying to. I'm just, you know, doing my thing.
No, I would do it on purpose. Honestly, I would do it on purpose. And I don't do that anymore.
I definitely believe, though, you know, taking on that role, it has encouraged me to be even much more feminine. It's like I'm super girly and I can curl 60 pounds. Right.
And say with a smile. Okay, so yeah, so like what else do I want to ask you now? You got me laughing up here. So like what's next for you?
Well, right now we are in an amazing off season and I am so happy with how things are progressing. We are planning on some more shows, not until like next year. And I'm just embracing and loving what off-season means. I am loving the extra calories, a little bit more freedom, and just enjoying watching how my strength changes each week and how like responsive my body has become. So, you know, what I have come to accept is even if I stopped competing, this is just me and this is my lifestyle. I love lifting. I love being active, and I love how functional my body has become at this point in my life. Mm-hmm. Like, if I want to go take a 2-hour hike, I can do it. I won't be out of breath. I won't be winded. I'll feel fine. So I've just completely embraced what this lifestyle has meant. You know, it's funny. I struggled with my weight really most of my life, and it's like I finally found something that just works for me, and this is my lifestyle. No matter what, even if I was like, Roxy, I don't want to compete anymore, it would not change that this is my lifestyle. I still would wake up in the morning and do cardio and lift later on the day. I would still, you know, manage my food because I've come to love how I feel when I do those things. Right. So, and in the interim, you know, I've inspired all these other people. Right. My sister, she has recently lost like, I don't know, 25, 30 pounds or something awesome. Crazy. Nice. Yeah. And so, I mean, so my journey has helped. You know, it becomes hard when you as a coach have never been like overweight per se. Mm-hmm. But when people meet me and they're like, oh, wow. And they remember me from before and they're like, this is something that can really happen. Like you can completely transform yourself if it's what you choose to do. Right. Right. Absolutely. Oh, that's really great. And do you feel like, you know, that lifestyle aspect that you have right now was instilled from, you know, your time spent as a rock star? Well, absolutely, because the things I was doing before were really crazy. In fact, I was like, there's no way I can live like this. No, I mean, I just remember thinking, like, the first couple shows that I competed, I looked like Medusa or that creature out of, Oh gosh, I can't think of her name.
Clash of the
I think her name.
yeah,
I mean, I was just looking.
Clash of the Titans. I don't know, like the Kraken.
Yeah,
like release the Kraken.
I was looking like death warmed over. I remember like the fatigue, the exhaustion, and then like no one taught me about reverse dieting. It was like, in fact, the person was like, okay, so what you do is just like every 2 weeks do the other meal plans that I had. I was like, what? Like what is happening here? And it was like the idea of competing again and having to do that stuff was terrible.
Right.
It was terrible. So what I've learned from being a rock star is really how to make this a lifestyle, and like even learning more about the flexibility. I do like that you take an opportunity to teach people what it is that you're doing. Like it's not some magic that you've got over there, like
some voodoo in the closet.
And so I actually like that you share, so that it's like we get some knowledge about the things that we're volunteering for and doing to our bodies.
Right.
But I think that, you've taught me how to really have balance. It's like I've learned from you that it can really be a lifestyle. Like my workouts before, even off season, like they were like these crazy, like first of all, I was working with a trainer and they were like these weird, crazy workouts that I could never replicate. I'm like, I'm not sure what. I was like, I've been writing it down, but I'm not sure what we were doing. Why was every lifting workout over 2 hours long? Well, it just was like, I didn't understand. I did not understand. It was not going to be a lifetime. Like it was not. It was very difficult to see how that could be my lifestyle forever.
Right.
I mean, and I think the other thing that you also taught me, and probably taught the other rock stars, is, and it's kind of cool watching you do this for yourself, is you can make your body look like whatever you want it to.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I
that's
think
the fun part about it.
Even watching your newest transformation, you scaling back down to being more of a dancer physique. Like every time you post pictures, I see the change.
Yeah.
So I think that's the other part is like, when women ask me, I tell them, I'm like, fitness can mean whatever you want it to mean to you. It's not a specific look.
Right.
It's not like it means different things to different people, and not only that, we're all at different places, and we are all seeking different, endpoints, and whatever that is, it's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and that's fantastic. I mean, it's funny that you say that because yesterday I had someone ask me on my social media, on my YouTube channel, who was like, oh, why are you trying to lose muscle? Like, is it a medical reason or is it personal? It's like, it was totally a personal reason, like wanting to just change my body and look differently. But that's the fun thing about it is that, you can be a complete chameleon. You know what I mean? Like when it comes, and I don't think people grasp that, but I've always been that type of person. Like I'll just change my look like that. Like, okay, I'm tired of this look, so now we're going to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to me, the shape of my body and how it is, I mean, not only is it a comfortability about, how I look and feel, but the fact that I can just change it at any point. And, as you said, you can change your body at any point, and fitness is what you make of it, So that was some really great gems that you just shared with us. So I appreciate that so much. So in closing, Gabby, because we're going to be seeing you again. I mean, Gabby's just a staple on the channel now. Okay. Like every couple weeks we'll do a Gabby interview because everybody loves talking to Gabby. But like, if you were to say anything to someone, let's say, who's sitting out there on the fence about like, should I work with Roxy? Should I reach out to her? Should I call her? What would you say to that person? Like, based upon your own experiences.
So what I would say, this is what I would say to them. I would say that you're an amazing person to work with. I would say that if you're really trying to learn more about having a fit lifestyle, period, not just being a competitor, not just losing weight, but just to learn how to take on the habits of having a really healthy, fit lifestyle, you're the person to call.
Fantastic.
I mean, and I think that it's amazing that you also have evolved even your business, because you take on all sorts of women at this point. And I think that it's really helpful for people to understand, like, it's like they look and they're like, oh, she just does competitors. Like, no, because the truth is, even as competitors, we spend a large part of our season not necessarily competing. And I think that there's so many jewels that someone could learn from you just about how to structure and have a basic healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely. Well, that's great, Ghabi, and I appreciate that. So
call her up.
Call me up, yo. Hit me up. HMU.
Google.
Hit me up, yo.
Send her an email.
So yes.
And I can tell you, like, people who've met me and they've seen the like how much I've transformed, even from when I competed before. Because I understand people saw me when I competed before. Like, they're just like, I don't know what's happened. Like, you look so good. Like, you look healthy. You look really fit. You look so good. And they frequently ask me who I work with. So I send them your way. I mean, it's amazing to see. I mean, in fact, a person who I had initially spoken to about her potentially training me, she's like, I don't know what you're doing, but this is really looking good on you. I was like, well, her name's Roxy. You need someone. Here's how you find her.
She's the trainer's trainer, actually. I get a lot of people who are fitness professionals.
I've met so many women who have trained with other people that I know of, and like, even their family never wants them to compete again because it was such a terrible experience for them. So, you know, it's been helpful to learn that there are other ways that you can do this.
Absolutely. Well, Ghabi, it's been a pleasure spending time with you as usual. And so,
finally.
Right. So we'll do this one again. So thank you so much for your time, girl.
All right. See you.
Well, that's it. I hope that today's video was inspiring for you. I hope that you got something out of this and that you can see that, hey, look, if she can do it, you can do it too. You can take the bull by the horns and really achieve your goals. And if you're interested in working with me, then definitely come on and reach out to me. Go to my website, rockstarfitness.com/workwithroxy. There you'll see information about how you can get started with my exclusive online coaching and mentorship program. You can watch a short video presentation about how everything works and kind of decide to see if you actually fit into that equation. And we'll get onto the phone and decide that, you know, if my program is perfect for you, if I have the perfect solution for you, whether you're a competitor or not. And here's the thing, I don't take on everyone. So if I do say that we can work together and that I can help you, it'll be because I really feel like I can do something for you to help you to reach that next level in your life. So again, come to rockstarfitness.com/workwithroxy and hey, maybe you can be a rock star just like Ghabi too. All right, thank you so much for joining me and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.